There are several things going on in the Middle East that are very ominous signs of something that could be very much a tumultuous situation in the near term future and ongoing for quite some time. And I know the Middle East has always been something that's been extremely unpredictable, and I do not deal in drama conspiracy stories or things like that. I want to give you some straight facts. Actually, these are from the major media and various news agencies. Well, first off, let's talk about Yemen. Yemen actually is south of Saudi. It's right here on the peninsula. And what has been noted in the past is that Obama or his administration has always considered it a model for what he wants to accomplish in the Middle East. Well, here's what's very interesting. The entire Yemen government just resigned en masse. The entire Yemen government. And it looks like the Shiite Muslims might be gaining an upper hand or whatever's going on. Well, it looks like also that there's a lot of nationals, of U.S. nationals in the country too, because, you know, it's an oil-producing country. They might be having dual citizenships or whatever, but they're U.S. nationals, and it could be that, you know, there could be some major military intervention coming up here pretty soon. So there's this is Yemen. Here's Saudi, right? It's right on Saudi's border. Now, what I've been mentioning though is like it seems like Saudi is being surrounded by, you know, a whole sea of fire of tensions and tumultuous political upheavals, whereas the Saudi government seems to be the only stable thing that's in the area, right? The only stable government in the area. And that's, you know, but here we have King Abdullah. He's here. We're talking with Kerry. Now, in this picture, I don't know how old he is in this picture. Maybe he's 88, but he's 90 years old now. There have been numerous rumors of his impending death, I don't know, years ago, and it turned out it wasn't true. But I think the last time Obama met him, the King of Saudi was actually in a wheelchair. I know it wasn't that long ago, and you know, there's rumors now that he's been rushed to the hospital for pneumonia, and they're supposedly fairly, you know, they're not going to tell you what until like well after the situation happens. And you know, this is something else I just want to say here as a side note. You know, a lot of people with Saddam Hussein was a staunch ally of the U.S. for many years until he changed his policy on, you know, investing in euros for the revenue that he got from the sale of oil. Well, there's also been speculation that, you know, Saddam Hussein actually died, and it was the sons that changed the policy. And what you saw in the newsreels and you know, and everything was one of the doubles of the doubles. So we really didn't go to war with Saddam Hussein. We probably went to war with his sons in the doubles. I think the king of Saudi, if he dies, it's going to be hidden. It's going to be very well hidden. This has been something that has been talked about for a very long time, is that when the king of Saudi dies, there can be major problems in the Middle East, a lack of political stability, competition for power. I don't know if this happened though. It's pretty. It does. You know, he's been in a hospital over the years. There's been death rumors. He's 90 years old. He's been in a wheelchair recently. It could be. You know, it could be. But add into the fact that, you know, something that was considered what, you know, the Obama administration considered to be one of its biggest accomplishments with Yemen, right? The whole government in Yemen has resigned en masse. I'm not getting that off alternative media drama, you know, that's extrapolating some word from some other source. It's the major media saying this. It's a fact. So these are two things, right? So you got the Yemen government has resigned en masse, and also you have the king of Saudi. He may have died, or maybe he's near death. He may have died. Now, the other thing that happened here just freaking, I don't know, it was in the last several days. Libyan militants have seized a Libyan Central Bank branch with as much as $100 billion inside the branch. So that's another thing where it could be totally destabilizing the country and get a hell of a lot of funding for Libyan militants, right? So that's three things, okay? So, maybe it's not going to happen in a week or a day, but it sure looks like the writing's on the wall. But, the Middle East is one of these things where I refer to as the Middle East. That's an old adage from when the English used to trade with the Far East, and on the way over, it was the Middle East. Maybe that's not the proper name, but that's what what I'm talking about when we talk about the Middle East. Maybe that's not the right name for it, but the other thing is in Iraq, you got the problem with ISIS. Now, Iraq is on Saudi Arabia's northern border. Now, ISIS in Iraq has recently attacked Saudi's border. They killed some border guards and also the general that was the Saudi general that was in charge of the border, the 600-mile border with Iraq. They successfully killed him. Although the ones that did the raid, it's just that guy, attempted the raid, they were all killed too. Now, Saudi's in the process of frantically building a 600-mile wall along its border with Iraq due to ISIS. Now, I always maintain ISIS is never going to freaking knock down the Saudi military, but where they are getting hurt the most financially, ISIS is getting hurt the most financially, is due to these oil prices getting slammed down, more than half in the last 6 months, because that was a major source of their funding. And actually, the U.S. is bombing the hell out of the ISIS refineries and stuff. But if ISIS launches any type of successful attack on oil infrastructure in Saudi, to get two goals out of that. One is, it's a damaging blow to Saudi's money. The other goal is it's good for ISIS because it'll raise the price of oil on the markets because, just anything that goes on in the Middle East that destroys some oil refineries or oil infrastructure will raise the price. And that'll help them out financially. So you basically got four things going here, and I'm going to try to keep this short, but it's like you got ISIS on the northern border of Saudi, trying to make incursions into the country. Saudi's frantically trying to build a 600-mile. They have a wall, but they're really getting sophisticated with, all kinds of even facial detection devices, underground tunneling, systems of, systems that detect vibrations from underground tunneling, infrared on top of the, on top of the surface, any possible way they can freaking catch anybody trying to come over their border. They're frantically building this right now. So they got a problem on the north of their border. They got a problem to the east of their border, which is with Iran. It's traditionally been their enemy. And you also have on the south of the border with Yemen, and also now in Libya, it looks like militants have taken over a central bank branch with as much as $100 billion inside. I don't know if that's cash or what, but you got access to all kinds of stuff, right? I'm sure there's gold in there and safe deposit boxes, whatever. It's it's going to be worth a hell of a lot of money to them. So there you go. And you also have the problem where the king of Saudi may have died, or it may be a good rumor. It may be not just a rumor this time. It's allegedly solid, but it's not something that's been confirmed. But these rumors they've also came out with these before about the king of Saudi has died, and it hasn't happened. It was years ago, but it's like you said, he's been in a wheelchair recently. He has been rushed to the hospital for pneumonia, and he is 90 years old. And it is a fact that when he dies, there's going to be a power vacuum and probably a lot of strife, political strife, and political turmoil due to a power struggle. So you got Saudis got internal problems. They got problems on, they're the only stable country in the area. They got Saudis got internal problems, probably with the king. Maybe he has died. I don't know. You got problems on the south because Yemen, the entire government, has resigned en masse. That's major media now. This is not alternative media. And also, Yemen was considered one of what the Obama administration wanted to accomplish in the Middle East. I was like, whoa, baby. That ain't cool when you're trying to accomplish something, and what you try to accomplish just resigned en masse. That means the Shiites are going to be trying to take over, which is, the Iranian type, whatever. So, Saudi's going to have that on their southern border. And I'm sure Iran is not very pleased with Saudi boosting production, because Iran's been under, sanctions for many years, and now they're really getting clobbered with oil being the price of oil being more than cut in half. So, I'm giving you reality here big time, man, and I don't know where this is all going to lead to exactly, but, I could... Well, you can see what's going on in the markets, actually, with gold and silver has been moving up, right? So, that's part of the reason. Tensions in the world. I expect oil to be moving up, too, pretty soon, too, because, I've been watching this channel. I've been watching this channel Adapt 2030, and I can tell you one thing. He's got so many freaking crazy weather events on there, showing from, like, snow in Vietnam to... extremely heavy hail in Dubai, a lot of snow in Vietnam, heavy accumulations, almost a foot of snow in Saudi Arabia. Norway had like 8 feet of snow, which is something they never got, anybody can ever remember, no matter how old they were. And I'm thinking, it's got to be creating a demand for oil besides the Middle East tensions, and I'm thinking, wow. The electronic spot market, man, they can move that price anywhere they want. That's a fact, man. But I guess they're not going to be able to do it forever, especially if something goes on with Saudi and some of that oil supply starts getting taken off the market because of successful incursions from ISIS, and say they got enemies on their southern border in Yemen because now the Shiites are taking over. The Yemen government resigned en masse, so guess what? Don't mean it's going to happen next week, but this looks solid. This looks solid. I'm not trying to freaking scare people. But, hey, do your thing a little bit at a time. If you're a little bit... Don't be I got to say this. Don't be one of those, I'm going to hide in my cave prepper, but you should do some things. I really think so, because I really don't know where this is all leading to. And, maybe some of the doom and gloom guys are going to be, gals are going to be right. But just going to add this on the end here. Jesus may save you someday. But in the meantime, you better be doing some stuff for yourself. And not worrying about it too much, too. But this is reality. This is reality. It's not, you don't want to be an ostrich. But then again, you don't want to be, I want to ignore everything I don't want to hear. That's the other side of it. So, anyway, figured to give you this. Some really wild stuff going on in a quote-unquote Middle East.